Hi everybody, welcome to this general playthrough for the Tour Championship on the brand new East Lake Golf Club course in Golf Clash. Please give me a thumb up if you don't mind and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. We're going to look at all 9 holes of this course here, showing you some possible routes and shots that you might want to play. These are general wind directions only. You won't know the actual tournament winds, of course, until the tournament begins, but there are some brilliant opportunities here and I'll give you my thoughts and suggestions of some alternatives as we go along. Timestamps in the video description down below. Best of luck, and remember, please share this with your friends and clanmates in the game to help them get a good feel for this new course. Here we go with hole number 1. The first of 5 par 4s in this course. There's loads of ways you can reach the green here. I'm going to show you a route with the extra mile level 8 and a Titan. We're stretching out to P3 max extension with 6 top spin and 2 left spin, and aiming up ahead there to the right hand side of the fairway. Adjustment here is going to be max plus 10, max plus 10 power 3. Any driver really with 6 topspin is good, even 5.8 topspin if you've got the APOC level 3, you could have a go with that. We're going with full overpower, slightly slower needle, 3/4 ball curl to the left. Now of course if you don't fancy this shot and you've got less topspin available, play with the Berserker. Bounce higher up, you may not need the overpower, but you want to be approaching this bottleneck area of fairway for the best chance at the eagle, because then getting around to that area is going to leave you a very simple wedge. And we're going to play Endbringer School here. We have a tutorial method. Learn the Endbringer method in less than 5 minutes. That is on our Academy tutorial home page. Now, because we don't have much room to bounce away from the rough, I'm actually using 1.5 bars of backspin here, but it's really crucial with this wedge shot that you have the ball guide going through the hole. Because this is slightly uphill, you will lose momentum on the ball and you will come in short if you don't have the ball guide through the hole. So, Endbringer School wedge, 15% elevation, as this one, like I said, is uphill. And just going to use a little bit of backspin. Of course, the wedge gets easier the closer you get to the green because you've got more green to bounce on, but there's still a very good chance here to drop an eagle on this first par 4. Now, in similar fashion to the first hole, we're going to play for the bottleneck here. However, do not use any more than 5 bars of topspin, because you see there is a dimple, a little dent in the fairway to the to the right of that bunker. I'll zoom in and show you that in a moment. There it is. If you catch that with too much topspin, there is a glitch roll that will send you scooting over the green and into the rough on the right. So be cautious with the topspin. I would rather be a little bit shorter than longer on this hole. So we're going with 5 topspin, 3 right spin, as that allows me to aim further away from the right hand rough on the fairway. Adjusting max plus 0 here. And I'm not going with any curl whatsoever. Centre the ball and hit perfect. Again, if you play with a higher power ball, you won't need as much topspin. You could play a much more controlled shot with a Berserker, but you may not want to use that many Berserkers. Here, you see, this is ideal. We're not catching that dip in the fairway. We're just short of that. And that's going to leave us here a wedge played at 75% distance. And again, we're using Endbringer School. It is uphill, so we're going to play this one 15% elevation. And like I did on the first hole, it's important here to have that ball guide just going through the hole, because you don't want to come in short in any way. So if you don't know the Endbringer School method, then check it out. We have a quick fire tutorial on that. Check the Academy tutorial playlists on the channel home page. No spin on this one. It's working very nicely because there's plenty of room to bounce. Centre the ball and hit perfect, and then you should pretty much be in for your eagle right at the pin. The first of 2 par 5s. You've got decisions to make here. Depending on the wind angle, you're either going to be playing for a max distance long iron or a min distance sniper. I would play the min sniper in heavy headwind, but otherwise you can push this and get to long iron range. So setting up with the quarterback, then doing a club switch to the extra mile, 4.5 topspin, 2 right spin, and then we're going to make our adjustment, which is max plus 0 P3. So max plus 0 P3. Obviously in tailwind you can play this one much more aggressively with a load of topspin, maybe go for a max overpower shot with a slower needle, or go with a berserker and try and get into short iron range. Deliberately setting up with the QB because I can play max overpower with a slow needle and still have a controlled needle speed to play down the fairway here. So max +0, and this is going to leave me a maximum distance shot with the Grizzly in pretty much crosswind. So 330 yards from second tee, you're going to be all right with the long iron. Anything less than that, you're going to be in between clubs. So I'd play a deliberately shorter drive and then play with the sniper. You can see here I'm playing with a bit of topspin, aiming at the left edge of the pin because we have crosswind from left to right. This just needed a small tweak, but as a general rule here, I'd be playing this one 0 elevation. It's definitely not going to play downhill at all. If anything, it might even play uphill. So max +0 here, maybe a little bit more offset was needed, but it will give you a good idea of how you want to play this hole. You can see we're at the max distance line with the Grizzly, playing at 7.9 rings. And coming in with a nice speed, you can see just from that camera angle, it's definitely not downhill. Perfect ball away, really good chance for an albatross here. Obviously the decision is for you how much you want to push the drive and what club you want to go with on your approach. On this first par 3, I'm going to use the white ring touching the rough, the bottom of the white ring touching the rough, and the right-hand edge of it touching the bunker there, because that's a consistent point we can refer to every time we play this hole. Then it's a case of adapting spins depending on wind angle. Here I'm going with 1.5 backspin and 2 bars right spin. We're always going to be using our long iron on this hole from the second tee, regardless of wind direction or wind strength. So if we can find a consistent good bounce point here, then we've got good clear ring references to use. So we're always going to set up at the same point. Very good for dialing in. Medium distance, 30% elevation, mid +30. You can see there it's slightly downhill and we're going over water there, which is kind of set further downhill. So we are going to have the wind affecting the ball quite a bit. Bouncing where we're aiming, so the adjustment's good. Small tweak to the spin, very close look at it. Decent chance, might need a token or two though on this par 3 to dial in. Now in most winds you can drive the green here very easily and you don't really need anything other than a power 3 ball. But if you have strong headwind and don't fancy risking that bottleneck of fairway, then you can lay up and go for a really easy thorn. So here, setting up with the QB as a reference, then doing my club switch. You don't need a load of topspin here because I want to play from close to minimum distance with the thorn. So I'm going with 4 topspin, a little bit of right spin, playing with whatever driver gives me that distance and topspin, because obviously we are going to adjust into the plus yards here with a power 3 ball. Maximum distance, 0 elevation, and the layup is all about getting the yardage right so that you are near to min distance of the thorn. And we're going to look at the yardage here as a good marker of where you want to be. You want to be in the range of 310. Of course, the best opportunity is by driving the green. Very simple shot though, you don't need me to show you that one. You can just ping a power 3 plus ball down there to the bottom left corner. Now if you're going for the layup, find your minimum distance marker, and then we're pushing up rings from min to have the bounce nicely on the green, so we're taking away any issues with bouncing on the fringe, and adding spin to have the ball guide going just through the hole because we're playing into headwind. So spins as needed, look at your ball guide, playing rings from min, 10% elevation. Now for every ring from min, you play 1% on the slider. So this one I pushed up 4 rings, I'm playing 4% slider, 10% elevation. Pull over the bullseye. We have tutorials on rings from min, slider, and pulling over the bullseye on the channel homepage as well. So if those are new terms to you, check them out. They'll become crystal clear and you can use them all to get more drops. Another par 4 now, and this one is probably one that I would recommend you go with a berserker. You could even use the big topper as well with more topspin, but anything you need really is just a driver with a load of topspin. So whatever you feel comfortable with. Extra mile, I'm deliberately setting up a little bit away from max distance so I have a slow needle. So I've got half the red ring inside the rough on the left at the top of plus 19. Pushing rings to adjust in this wind angle, those trees will be in the way. Max +0, obviously in tailwind you've got an easier job to reach before the green, but in crosswind, you've got to push it a bit. So full overpower, just over one ball of curl to the left. It's a slowish needle, but it is something you want to try and hit perfect. But a minor great left is still fine. And up here, you're going to have a very, very easy wedge for your eagle. If you're enjoying the free content and want to help keep it free and support the channel here, head over to patreon.com/BK Golf Clash. Loads of different membership levels, all have the same perks. You get wind charts early, you get elevation sheets, exclusive content as well, episodes of my club guide series up there as well. So plenty to help you out as membership perks if you want to help support the channel. I'm going to give you 3 options here. Now, the aggressive option is really fun. If you've got strong enough tailwind, you can go with a driver. You need around 6.8 bars of backspin plus. I've only just got enough with Thor's Hammer 5, but I'm going with 6.8 backspin, 2 left spin. You will need a power 5 ball. Stretching out to find my position, and I want to hop over the rough and the sand and hold onto the green there with the backspin. Max plus 10, P5, pushing up 2 rings. This is something that you would need to do wind angle tweaks for, and a low amount of tailwind is not going to get you over there. So it is one of those you've got to mix and match your spin based on your wind strength. But it's full overpower, slow needle with a ball of curl to the left, and we're playing to a very narrow area with the backspin, just catching the green, and it holds very nicely. Now, of course, here's another version of the shot, and you might get a hole-in-one with this. If you've got any backspin boost balls gathering dust, use one, and it doesn't matter what driver you've got. As long as you've got a decent amount of backspin to start with, you can make up the rest with the backspin boost. So even with Thor's Hammer 5, you could play this shot. You could play it with other drivers as well. Obviously, if you've got less backspin on your club, you would need more bars of boost. But it's the same principle as that first shot. I'm stretching out, adding my spin, adjusting max plus 10. Now, because we're playing with more backspin, I push up a lot more here. So in the end, I push up 3.5 rings because that backspin is going to give me a shorter second bounce. So you can see there, 6.8 bars of backspin, 3 bars of boost. Full overpower, hit perfect. You've got a great left and a great right, though, playing with such an extreme amount of backspin. But there's going to be some really fun shots. Look at this one, getting a zoom in, just burning the top edge of the cup. So if you've got a backspin boost ball, you could be in for the hole-in-one. If you don't want to go aggressive, then play safe. With the quarterback and a power 2 ball, going with the katana for the for the left spin. We're going half a bar of backspin, 3 left spin. Now in more tailwind, you will need more backspin, of course, so always tweak your spin accordingly. Red ring touching the rough on the left at P2 max rest with quarterback 9 and 10. 1-to-1 adjustment here, so for 8.7 wind, we are going to play 8.7 rings. Now that is equivalent, if you're using a different driver, basically that is the equivalent of playing max plus 5 P2 numbers. Okay, max plus 5 P2, or 1-to-1. Laying up there, and that is going to give you a very easy short wedge for your eagle. Good chance for a hole-in-one. We're going to use the Goliath and play a rough bump here. We're going to go with 5.5 top spin and 2 bars of left spin. So you could actually play this one with a Titan if you didn't want to use a Kingmaker. Aiming at the pin, obviously Goliath 7 doesn't have a fully developed ball guide, so leaving it short here, obviously higher level Goliath, your ball guide would be to the hole. Inner ring, or the green ring, touching the rough, aiming at the pin. Mid plus 10, power 3. Okay, mid plus 10, power 3, pulling over the bullseye. For me, that was, I believe, 3.2 or 3.3 rings, thereabouts. Good thing about the rough bump, you haven't got a ridiculously high second bounce as if you were playing a backspin shot. So I reckon this is going to be the best chance for a hole-in-one, and you should have room to adjust in all wind angles. Mid plus 10, falling very nicely for the hole-in-one. In high tailwind here, we are, of course, wanting to blast over the water, but if not, you're going to have to lay up. So I'm finding position with the quarterback, then switching to my extra mile, and then I'm adding 4 top spin and 3 left spin. The quarterback ring reference I was using was at P3 max rest with the white ring touching the rough, but, you know, I'm just using that to gauge my club distance, really. You could set up with the extra mile or whatever driver you have directly if you wish. Max plus 0. The idea of this one is not to go too giddy with the top spin, because the fairway next to the lake, just before the lake, that rolls downhill. So you don't want to go too far here and roll into the rough. But you will need a long distance wood club, so I would pack the Big Dog or the Cataclysm. As you can see there, it's just rolling downhill. You will need a bit more topspin if you have more headwind, of course. You want to be around 350 yards. Now, second shot, this one is affected by the wind quite a bit, especially this wind angle. I'm going with 3.5 backspin, 1.5 right spin. You will need to tweak that depending on the wind angle. You can see here, though, that the right-hand side of the green slopes down. So if you miss right and don't control the ball well enough or adjust enough, then you will roll off the green into the rough, maybe even the bunker if you've got too much pace. Max plus 0. Unfortunately, I hit a great left here, but actually great left is favoured over a great right, definitely. Perfect would have been fine. Primary objective just to hold the green nicely and secure the eagle with a very simple putt. Very tough to get an albatross unless you go for the blast. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.